Hello everyone, and welcome to Fresh Master Channel. Today, we are going to have some story from Reddit. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe, like the video if you enjoyed it, and leave a comment down below. These simple clips mean a lot to the future of this channel.
I got home early. No warning, just something in my gut said check. I opened the bedroom door. What I saw stopped my breath. Some sweaty, hairy beast was slamming into my wife, Marcy, moaning, riding it like she was in heat. Our bed, our room. I flipped the light switch. She looked right at me. Didn't scream, didn't even flinch. Just gave me a look like I was interrupting her dinner. "Freaking hell, Danny," she said, voice flat and annoyed. "What the hell are you doing home?" I blinked. My jaw tightened. "What the F am I doing home?" I said, stepping into the room. "What the hell are you doing, Marcy?" Tony, yeah, I'd get his name later, looked over his shoulder and grinned. "Yo," he said, chuckling. "This your man?" Marcy rolled her eyes. "Yeah, the house mouse showed up early." I stepped forward. "You're screwing someone else in our goddamn bed while the kids are sleeping down the hallway. And you look bored?" "Oh, stop it," she said, tossing the blanket off like she wasn't even ashamed. "Don't act like you didn't see this coming. Jesus, Danny, look at you." "I am looking," I growled. "I'm seeing the mother of my kids getting railed by a damn gorilla." Tony sat up, muscles bulging, completely unfazed. "You want round two, little man?" I lunged at him. He stood. Damn, he was huge. And shot me twice in the ribs, then one straight to the face. My vision cracked. I dropped. Couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. Just pain. I came to in the ER. Cold room, bright lights, my ribs were screaming. Bandages wrapped tight. Marcy sat there on the chair, legs crossed, arms folded like she was waiting for a latte. "You done crying?" she asked. I looked up dizzy. "Who the hell is he, Marcy?" "Tony," she said. "My man. And clearly not yours to fight." I coughed, bitter in my throat. "You screwed him. In our bed. With our kids right down the damn hall. If you hadn't stormed in like Rambo," she said, "they wouldn't have heard a thing. That's on you." I had to call my sister to come watch them while I dragged your busted A here. "How long has this been going on?" She tilted her head. "Since November. You were too busy being boring to notice." "Is this the first guy?" I asked. She laughed. "First one you caught, not the first one, no." I stared. "You sick freaking witch!" She leaned forward. "Call me what you want. You think I give a damn?" While you were wasting years pretending to be a man, Tony was blowing my back out and making me feel something again. "You've got no soul," I whispered. "No, Danny," she hissed. "I just stopped pretending you were enough." "You're a mother," I snapped. "You're a wife." "Not anymore, I'm not," she said. "You lost that version of me. Tony owns me now." "Then go," I growled. "Get the hell out of my house." She stood up and looked down at me like I was a piece of trash. "I moved your crap to the guest room already," she said. "You want out? Then leave. But you start barking to lawyers, neighbors, or God himself, and I will bury you." I didn't say anything. She leaned closer. "I'll tell everyone. You hear me? I'll make you famous. Everyone will know you're the sad little chump whose wife got stolen by a real man. Your sons will grow up laughing behind your back. I'll make you a punchline." "You're proud of this?" I asked. "Tony owns Continental Classics. You remember that fancy A dealership you drooled over but couldn't afford? Yeah, that's his. He's rich. He's powerful. He make it like a god. And he knocked you out like a freaking rag doll. What's there not to be proud of?" "Then marry him, ho." She paused, smiled cold. "He doesn't want kids, and I'm not giving up mine. So here's how it works, Danny boy. You stay, pay the bills, tuck the kids in at night, and I get what I need from Tony. You're the safety net. He's the fire. You think I'm going to accept that?" "You will," she said. "You always do. You bark, you cry, and then you fall in line. That's who you are. You think you can just screw around and I'll eat crap quietly?" She smirked. "Already have. Haven't you noticed the taste yet? You make me damn sick." "Good," she said. "Now maybe you'll lose a little weight." I stared at her, everything in me breaking. "Just tell me one thing," I said. "Who the hell was watching the kids when you were out screwing your boyfriend?" She grabbed her purse. "Karen," she said, smiling as she walked to the door. "Sometimes I drop them off at your parents'. Oh, and guess what? Karen's the one who introduced us." Funny, huh? Then she was gone. The morning after, they signed me out of the hospital. Marcy never showed, not even a text. I called myself a cab and rode home solo. The house was dead quiet. Kids were at school. My clothes folded on the guest bed like she'd kicked me out of my own life. Todd and Terry would have questions eventually, but I figured Marcy could handle that mess herself. Didn't take long to move into the spare room, maybe 40 minutes. But I wasn't done, not even close. First stop, basement. I dug out this old-school phone tap I used to have, worked only on landlines, but it was better than nothing. Marcy mostly used her cell, but every now and then she'd call the house phone. Worth a shot. 20 minutes later, it was rigged and tucked behind some paint cans. Step 1, done. I felt like crap, but my head was clear enough to work. Hospital gave me painkillers, but I didn't want to be high around moving machinery. Took some Tylenol and pushed through. Marcy's biggest screw-up? Thinking I was all alone in this. What she didn't know was that the crew at work had my back, hard. I told the guys everything, no sugarcoating. Every one of them had a plan. Some legal, some sketchy as hell. It felt good knowing they were with me. We still had hours left on shift, but that night, we made it a mission to brainstorm how to fix the train wreck my life had become. Halfway through, we took our dinner break. All right, anybody got an idea that doesn't land me in jail? I asked. Glenn jumped in. I don't got a plan, but my cousin details cars for that a-hole Tony. Dude hates him. If you want intel on the business, the building, work hours, he's your guy. That's solid, I nodded. Appreciate it. Anyone else? Danny raised an eyebrow. I got 2 rifles and a pair of unregistered pistols. Just saying. Thanks, Barry, I said. But I'm not looking to make the 6 o'clock news. Freddie leaned back and grinned. Then you definitely don't want to hear mine. Tell us, man, someone laughed. Let it fly. All right, Freddie smirked. We find Tony, tie him to a tree, legs wide open, then light a campfire right between them, old school style. Everyone burst out laughing. It was twisted, sure, but it felt good to laugh again, even for a second. Kyle was quiet the whole time. We turned to him. What? He said. Don't look at me like that. You got something or not? I asked. Well, yeah, kind of weird though. There's that prison in Arizona where they made the creeps wear pink jumpsuits, right? Thought maybe we could humiliate him like that. Spray paint him pink or some crap. Spray paint? Someone asked. How are we even going to get that close? Knock him out first, Kyle said, like it was no big deal. Then tie him to a chair, let someone else find him. With what? A brick to the head? I got a taser, Kyle said, like he was offering gum. It's in my car. Just sneak up and zap him. Someone muttered, yeah, 'cause that's so easy. I'm just saying, Kyle shrugged. It's an option. The brake buzzer cut us off. Still 4 hours to go. My workload was lighter that night, and the guys pitched in to cover the rest. When I got home, Marcy was asleep. At least she didn't bring her side piece into the house. Small mercy. Still, I had no damn clue what to do next. Most of the crew's plans sounded like dumb teenage revenge. Might as well leave a flaming bag of dog crap on Tony's porch. I needed something real. Something that'd actually hurt. Next morning, I woke up late. The kids were already gone. I heard Marcy in the kitchen, probably pretending life was normal. I showered, shaved, got dressed. Morning, hubby, she said with a smug little smirk. Don't I get a kiss? I just looked at her, turned, and walked right out. She wasn't worth a word. I grabbed breakfast out, spent most of the day driving around, clearing my head, trying to come up with a plan that didn't involve prison time. I had another night shift coming, so I didn't want to waste energy. One thing was for sure, I wasn't eating at home again. Dinner breaks with the crew were the only time I felt halfway sane. And screw Marcy's cooking. Couldn't even smell it without getting sick. Work rolled on like usual until break. Yo, Danny, Kyle said, pulling me aside. I got that taser in the glove box. Take it, even if it's just for protection. He looked proud, like he'd just gifted me a sword. You ever use that thing? Someone asked. Oh, we can try it out now, Kyle grinned. Any brave volunteers? Whole room groaned. Nobody had a genius plan, but every single guy was ready to stand with me if I came up with one. That mattered more than anything. I got home to silence. Marcy was either asleep or pretending. Didn't matter. I was on the graveyard shift again, and that wrecked your sleep, even on weekends. But I had time, and I wasn't done, not even close. I got up earlier than usual. The boys, Todd and Terry, were bouncing off the walls when I mentioned Chuck E. Cheese. I figured we'd be out half the day, give Marcy space, maybe peace. She didn't mind. Hell, she almost seemed happy we were leaving. I was tying my shoes when she said it. Danny, I need you to take a few days off next week, Marcy said casually, like she was asking me to grab milk. I paused. For what? Tony's friend Wally's coming in from Detroit, she said, sipping her coffee like she wasn't about to drop a bomb. We're thinking about taking a little cruise to Cancun. 3-4 nights max. I turned around slowly. We? She didn't even blink. Yeah, me, Tony, Wally, Karen's coming too. If you can't take the time off, maybe your parents can watch the boys. I stood there staring at her like she'd grown horns. Let me get this straight, I said. You're asking me to take time off work so I can watch the kids, while you go on a damn cruise with 2 guys? Don't be dramatic, she said, waving it off. Wally's with Karen. They've been close forever. Oh, well, damn, I said, nodding like an idiot. Guess that makes it all better. My bad. Go ahead and let your boyfriend tag team you on a boat. Just make sure Karen holds the camera steady. She narrowed her eyes. You're being an a-hole. I stood up. No, Marcy, I'm being real. You don't even try to hide this crap anymore. You want a vacation with your side piece and his buddy, and you've got the audacity to ask me to babysit while you get screwed on international waters? You're overreacting, she snapped. It's not like that. Like hell it ain't. You think I don't know what's going on? You and Tony have been screwing behind my back for months, and now you want a couple's retreat with matching hose? Watch your mouth, she barked. You're talking about me and my friends. I am watching it, I said. And you're lucky I don't start screaming. You want to play this game? Fine. But don't insult my intelligence while you're at it. She crossed her arms. I've done everything around here for years, Danny. You wouldn't know what to do without me. Really? I asked. Because from what I'm seeing, you're not doing everything. You're just doing everyone. Phew, she hissed. I smiled. I already got someone else for that, remember? She stared at me with pure venom. You keep running your mouth. I swear I'll make sure you don't see those boys without a fight. Oh, now you care about the kids? I barked. Where was that energy when you were screwing Tony while they were asleep across the hall? Don't play the mom card now, sweetheart. You already folded that hand. I swear, Danny. No, I swear, I cut in. You go on that cruise? Don't come back. Not to this house, not to this family, not to these boys. You want to shack up with a car dealer from Lancaster and his rent-a-buddy, do it. But don't expect me to sit here playing Mr. Nice guy while you piss on everything we built. Then pack your crap and leave, she said coldly. I'm not going anywhere. Oh, I'll leave, I said, grabbing my keys. But not before I tell your parents why their daughter turned into a discount escort. And I'll tell yours you couldn't satisfy your wife if your life depended on it, she hissed. Which is exactly why I had to find someone who could. I stepped to the door. Enjoy Cancun, Marcy. Just hope your cruise comes with a life vest, because one day, all this crap you're swimming in, it's gonna drown you. I opened the door, and before I stepped out, I turned back. Oh, and tell Karen I owe her one. Seriously, that intro? Best favor she ever did for me. Now I know exactly what kind of people I'm dealing with. We left way too early. Chuck E. Cheese wasn't even open yet, so I took the boys to Hobby Hall, the craft store right by our place. They were old enough now to mess with those model kits without much help. None of their builds were going to win awards, but hell, they were having fun, and that's what mattered. I let them roam while I wandered the aisles. The store was packed with junk aimed at Pinterest moms, stuff Marcy would have loved. I thought, if she'd just picked up a damn hobby, maybe she wouldn't have brought that walking carpet into our house. But that ship had sailed. Then something caught my eye. Designer spray paint, lined up, neat on a shelf. 6 cans, perfect pink. Not as much stock as Love is, but this was the exact color I'd been picturing. The only place I'd seen it. Felt like a sign. I grabbed all 6 cans without a second thought. Todd picked out a monster truck kit. Terry went for a tow truck. Didn't even know they made those in plastic. On the way out, I spotted a bag of heavy-duty zip ties, 10 of them, long and thick. I tossed them in the cart too. Figured they'd come in handy for what I had brewing. By the time we left, Chuck E. Cheese was open. We burned 4 hours in there, crushed 2 pizzas, and the boys were wiped. We swung by the store for cheap bread and hit Pandora Park to feed the ducks. Hung around until late afternoon, then headed to my parents' place. Mom and Dad were happy to see us. Cooked dinner, spoiled the kids. Todd and Terry crashed in front of the TV like zombies. I pulled Dad aside, gave him the lowdown on Marcy. It was the first time I'd really opened up about what was happening. She'd been trying to hang that "I'll expose you" crap over my head, but I decided to beat her to the punch. The more people I told, the less power her threats had. Dad looked me square in the eye and said, "We got the boys, no matter what." That took a load off. At least now I had some room to move without dragging the kids through the mess. Later that night, around 9, I called Marcy. "We're crashing at my folks. I've got the car. Don't wait up." Next morning, we hit IHOP and wrecked a breakfast platter between the three of us. When we got home, Marcy was still knocked out in bed. I fired up the mower, then checked on the kids, already knee-deep in their model kits. Sun was out, sky was perfect, but I let them stay in and do their thing. I decided to spend the day fixing up the yard. Edging, mowing, trimming, all the stuff I'd let slide. Took my time, chatted with a few folks while I worked. I had my own clippers, but I borrowed hedge trimmers from Mike Fielding across the street. His wife, Mary, ran the local gossip hotline, so I made sure to drop a few juicy lines. Told Mike there might be some random dudes coming by because Marcy was entertaining her gentleman friends. I said, "Shouldn't be a problem, unless they get loud. If they do, call the cops. I work nights, can't babysit the circus." Then I strolled over to Larry Finley's. Church board guy, knows in everybody's business. I needed a spark plug wrench anyway. While I had him cornered, I apologized for Marcy's, adventurous behavior lately. Larry's eyes lit up like Christmas. 10 minutes later, I'd fed him enough dirt to keep him buzzing for weeks. Skipped lunch, powered through yard work, and wrapped around 4. Quick shower, then I took myself out. Ended up at Rosie's Cantina, ordered the priciest thing on the menu. Don't know if it was worth the money, but it hit the spot. After that, I swung by my brother Dave's place. He and the fam welcomed me in like I was returning from war. Dad must have filled him in already. I crashed on Dave's couch that night. Marcy thought she was slick. Her master plan? Threatened to embarrass me into silence, make me out to be the weak husband who let her cheat. Try to own me with shame. Cute plan. Shame it fell apart like a dollar store umbrella. In less than a week, I told everyone. Friends, family, neighbors. She had nothing left to hang over me. And the best part? I made her look like the unstable one. A full-blown community nuisance. She wanted power. Instead, she got exposed. I swung by the house the next morning to change before work. Didn't even make it through the damn hallway. Marcy was waiting, arms folded, fire in her eyes. "What the hell did you tell the neighbors?" she snapped, stepping in my face. "Karen said you told people I run a goddamn brothel." I dropped my keys on the table, slow and calm. "Come on, don't be dramatic," I said. "I didn't say you run one. I just told them not to be alarmed if strange men keep showing up while I'm busting my A at work." She jabbed a finger toward my chest. "That's damn slander, Danny." I shrugged. "Is it? Or is it a creative interpretation of reality?" Her nostrils flared. "You're ruining my name." "Oh, please," I said, walking past her toward the bedroom. I didn't say anything that wasn't already halfway obvious. "You parade Tony around like he owns the place. Now you're planning cruises with his buddy." I figured I'd get ahead of the gossip. "Who else did you talk to?" she demanded. I turned, leaned against the doorframe. "Everyone," I said with a smirk. "The Johnsons, the people across the street, the mailman. Hell, even Mrs. Ortiz asked if you were offering a punch card deal." "Screw you," she screamed. "You're trying to make me look like some kind of homewrecker." I stared. "You're a homewrecker, Marcy. I just saved you the effort of hiding it." She stormed closer. "You want to humiliate me? Make yourself feel like a man again? This what gets your pecker hard now?" I chuckled. "Nah, that ship sailed. You humiliated yourself, sweetheart. I'm just the guy sweeping up the glass after you threw the damn family through the window." She clenched her fists. "You didn't have to drag my family into this." "I didn't," I said. "Yet. I've kept quiet with your parents and your sisters, but hey, you might want to get ahead of it. Would be a shame if they heard it from someone else." Her voice cracked just a little. "You're turning everyone against me." I narrowed my eyes. "You did that all by yourself the night you bent over our bed for your boyfriend." She slapped me. Didn't hurt, just made her look even more pathetic. "Feel better?" I asked. She backed away, breathing heavy. "You always think you're so freaking smart," she muttered. "You act like you've won something." I checked my watch. "Don't flatter yourself. I didn't win. I just stopped losing. And now I've got 10 minutes left with my sons before I clock in. So, unless you've got something worth saying, I'm done here." I turned to go upstairs. "The boys still love me," she called out behind me. "No matter what nonsense you feed them." I paused at the top step. Looked back, calm. I don't have to feed them anything, I said. They see what's real. Kids always do. That night at work, Glenn came through with the scoop. Continental Classics closed at 9 sharp on Thursdays, and Tony liked to handle payroll himself, alone. The place cleared out so he wouldn't be bothered. Not even the janitor stuck around. Kyle showed me how the taser worked. Nobody had stepped up to test it. Shocking, I know. We had a solid plan, and I honestly didn't care if it blew up in my face. If I got arrested, so be it. I'd spill everything to the press. Local news, morning radio. Hell, I'd post it online myself. Tony DeMarco was going to feel this, one way or another. That week, I treated home like a locker room. I'd shower, change, crash for a few hours, and bounce. I hadn't eaten a single meal in that house since the day I walked in and found my clothes folded on the guest bed like I'd been evicted. Then, Thursday rolled around. I staged a breakdown with my truck and had Kyle swing by to grab me. At work, nobody gave grief as long as the numbers were good and we weren't screwing up the product. Thanks to OSHA gear, masks, gloves, goggles, we all looked the same anyway. At 8:30, I slipped out the back. The guys covered for me by shuffling stations, a few empty spots here and there, but nothing suspicious. Everyone took bathroom breaks, no one tracked them. The idea was to make it look like I never left. I went in through the back service door at Continental, headed straight to the bathroom, and waited. A little after 9, someone peeked in to make sure the lights were off. 10 minutes later, I pulled on some gloves and walked into the office. Tony had his back to me, sitting at his desk, facing the showroom. He was hunched over an old calculator, hammering keys like he was punching out a novel. The computer next to him was asleep. He never heard me coming. I shot him in the back of the head with the taser. His whole body jolted like he'd touched a live wire. I thought he might turn around, so I zapped him again for good measure. Second time, he slumped forward, out cold. Nice and easy. I tied him up, 2 zip ties on each wrist, 2 on each ankle. No way he was going anywhere. Found one of his old ties in the closet and wrapped it around his face as a blindfold. Dude was totally limp, dead weight. I wheeled his chair out to the front window, right in the showroom's display area. Come morning, his staff would have a hell of a wake-up call. Then came the fun part, the pink paint. It took more than I figured. His clothes soaked it up fast, so I had to hit him with 3 coats just to make it pop. I burned through almost all 6 cans, but it worked. He looked ridiculous, like a flamingo in cuffs. Once he was fully pinked out, I started cleaning up. Figured he might wake up mid-job, but nope, still out cold. I took the blindfold off and checked the time. Everything was on schedule. Then I noticed something off. He wasn't moving. At all. I checked for a pulse on his wrist. Nothing. Thought maybe the gloves were messing with the feel. Took one off, tried again. Still nothing. Tried his neck like they do in shows. Nada. Even tapped his eye gently with a pen. No blink, no twitch. My stomach dropped. I started sweating, but my brain kicked into autopilot. I wiped down everything I could have touched, pocketed the necktie, and snipped off all the zip ties. That left pale bands around his wrists and ankles. Made him look like a weird raccoon in pink. I double-checked everything, then got the hell out of there. On the way back to the shop, I dumped everything. Gloves, paint cans, tie, taser, right into a storm drain. Gone. 10 minutes later, I was back at my station, sewing brake pads like nothing happened. Not a single soul noticed I'd ever left. After our shift ended, I told the guys the whole story. They didn't flinch. Everyone had played their part, and no one was backing out now. Freddie whistled low, impressed. Kyle drove me home. We both made sure to remember the time I got dropped off. I laid down that night, but sleep never really came. Too many thoughts. Too many what-ifs. It was around 10 when the door slammed open like a damn explosion. "What the hell did you do?" Marcy screamed, voice shaking, eyes wild. "What the F did you do, you sick fool?" I rolled over, still half asleep, rubbing my face. "The hell are you yelling about now?" "Don't play dumb with me," she barked, marching across the room. "Tony's dead. Karen just called. They found him this morning, dead in his office, cold, gone." I sat up slowly, staring at her. "And what the that got to do with me?" She pointed a trembling finger at me, seething. "You did something. I know you did. You threatened him. You were obsessed with getting revenge. You think I don't know what you're capable of?" I stood up, cracked my neck, calm as ice. "You give me way too much credit, Mars. Maybe the dude just choked on all that nonsense you've been feeding him. You think this is funny? He's dead, Danny. And what, you want me to cry over your side piece?" I stepped toward her. You screwed him in my house, in my bed, and now he's gone. That sounds more like karma than homicide. She shoved me hard in the chest. You eliminated him! I'll make sure the cops come for you! I swear to God, you're going down for this! I didn't even flinch. Please do! Let's see how far you get with your little tantrum and zero proof. Don't play with me, Danny! She shrieked. You said you'd make him pay. You said he'd regret touching me. Yeah, I said a lot of things, but I didn't lay a finger on that dumb fool, I said. Maybe he had a heart attack from trying to keep up with your nasty A. She slapped me. Hard this time. My cheek stung, but I grinned anyway. I see you're grieving just fine, I said, voice low. Still got that swing in your hand? She backed off, breathing like she'd run a mile. I loved him, I laughed. No, you used him, just like you used me. The only difference is, I survived it. She clenched her fists. You're evil. You're damn evil. I stepped closer, just enough to make her feel it. No, Marcy, I'm free. And you? You're standing here screaming over a dead guy who probably died wishing he'd swiped left. She looked like she was going to break, voice cracking. This isn't over, Danny. I'll find out the truth. If you had anything to do with this, I swear. You'll do what? I cut in. Throw another tantrum? Screw another one of your friends? Go ahead, Mars, tear it all down. I'll still be standing. And guess what? You don't scare me anymore. She stared at me, jaw clenched, eyes full of hate. Then she turned and stormed out, slamming the door so hard a picture frame fell off the wall. Second time she yelled that in 5 minutes. No way I was getting back to sleep. I rolled out of bed and hit the shower. Took my time. Long, hot water, slow shave, even splashed on aftershave. Just to piss her off. Never made it to the coffee. There was a tall black guy in a suit standing in the living room, talking to Marcy. Short haircut, serious look. Yeah, she called the cops. I sighed, walked past them, grabbed my mug, poured some coffee, sat in my spot. Marcy gave me that smug little smirk. The guy sat down too. Mr. Mercer, he said. I'm Detective Darnell Green. I'm looking into Anthony DeMarco's passing last night. Your wife said you two had a fight last week. Mind answering a few questions? No problem, I said. But not here. He raised a brow. Where then? Your office, not my house. That cool? Marcy's face dropped. She clearly thought she'd get front row seats. Your car or mine? He asked. I'll meet you. Got something to do first? Which office? Room 206, second floor, back corner. Elevator, turn right. See you there. I tied my shoes, dumped the coffee in the sink, gave her a grin. You're gonna get what you wanted, babe. She narrowed her eyes. The hell that mean, Danny? Didn't answer. 10 minutes later, I was in room 206 with Green. He asked all the right stuff. I gave him clean answers, no nerves. I told him straight. I had reason, but not a chance. He was firm, but cool, not an idiot. Then he said Tony died from heart failure. Had a pacemaker. Turns out tasers and pacemakers don't mix. They saw the marks on his neck. I told him I was sorry the guy died. But I wasn't sad about it. He gave me the classic don't leave town line. Said he'd check my story. Honestly, felt kind of exciting. He shook my hand. I got the sense he didn't hate me. Grabbed food, watched the news. Quick piece about a dead businessman. No family. That was Tony. Then I cleaned out my accounts, had a real breakfast, still had stuff to handle. When I got home, Marcy was gone. Took 30 minutes to move her junk into the guest room and mine back where it belonged. One tiny closet, a beat-up dresser, laid her stuff out for her to deal with. Checked the basement recorder, nothing new. Collected all the papers. Bank, insurance. Lucky me. The Volvo's mine. Stashed everything in a folder under the truck seat. Then I called work. Told them I was taking 2 weeks off. A few hours later, she walked in. Looked surprised I was still home. I gave her a slow, smug grin. Welcome back. She narrowed her eyes. What the hell's this? Who the hell are you pretending to be? I led her straight to the guest room, opened the door. She looked inside, stunned. What the F is this? I smiled wider. Your new kingdom, Marcy. Excuse me? From now on, I'm in the master. You're in here, start moving your crap. Anything not in the closet by dinner goes in the trash. Her voice jumped. You've lost your goddamn mind. You got questions? I can't fit all my stuff in this shoebox. Then you don't need it, I said. Simple math. She stepped closer, pissed. That's not happening. I don't know what kind of power trip you're on, but it ends now. You're dead meat, Danny. I turned to leave. Then you better hurry up before garbage day, she shouted after me. You cold-hearted fool. Third time, she screamed that name at me. Guess I hit a nerve. While she stewed in the guest room, I dropped her purse on the kitchen table and started collecting what I needed. First, her phone. Then the keys from her wallet. Took out her license, credit cards, debit card, kept what mattered, put the rest back. Grabbed the car title from my truck, drove the Volvo across town to a buddy who flipped cars. Sold it for a fair price. He promised to move it out of town. After clearing payments, I still pocketed a few grand. Was about to grab a taco when my phone rang. "You fool! Where's my damn phone, and where the hell's my car?" She was calling from the house line. Perfect, I could check the logs later. "Sorry, babe," I said. "Had to sell it. Gotta pay a lawyer to clean up the mess you dumped on me. I'll buy you a new ride once I'm out of jail." She kept screaming, so I hung up and turned off my phone. That call got me thinking. A lawyer might not be such a bad idea. Either way, I was done with the marriage. No rush, though. My tacos were ready. When I got back, Todd and Terry were home. I walked past Marcy like she wasn't there. She looked like she'd just lost a war. The boys were happy, though, and wanted to show me their models. Later, she started making dinner. I peeked into the guest room. My clothes were dumped on the bed again. Hers were back in the master. I laughed a little. Same old Marcy, stubborn to the bone. She told the kids to wash up. I headed to the guest room to grab my stuff again. As much as I wanted to toss her crap out the window, I held back. Red Lobster sounded better. Money wasn't a problem. After the lawyer's fee, I still had plenty. Shrimp and lobster were solid, but those cheddar biscuits? Gold. Then my phone rang. I hoped it was one of the guys. Maybe Detective Green. Nope. "Danny," Marcy said, "how am I supposed to buy groceries now? We need milk and other stuff." "I'll drive you when I get home," I said. "Try to plan it for Saturdays, safer that way." "They're calling me again, gotta go." "We'll talk later." Second call came from Kyle. "Green talked to the whole crew," he said. "Individually and in groups. Everyone backed you up. Floor manager Tom swore you never left." I wasn't a genius, but I had loyal friends. If someone really wanted to pin Tony's end on me, maybe they could. But no one seemed to care. Got home just in time to put the boys to bed. Marcy was on the couch with a glass of wine. I grabbed a cold Foster's, sat down in my chair. No TV. Good time to talk. "So," I said, "how's your plan to make me look weak going? That working out?" She didn't say a word, just slammed her glass, got up, and went to bed. I finished my beer and went to check the recorder in the basement. First call was to her sister. She spilled everything. Marge knew about the affair and was all in on it. Next call was to her mom. That one was different. Her mom had no clue. Marcy made up some crap about Tony being Karen's friend, said I was mad because I was trying to sleep with Karen, and Tony called me out. She let her mom connect the dots. Then came calls to the phone company, DMV, bank, all dead ends. No phone, no license, no credit card. She was scrambling hard. Last call was to Karen. Weird, since she lives just down the street, but lucky for me. I found out Wally was coming from Detroit, and Marcy was planning to lay low till he got there. Next morning, me and the boys dipped early before she even woke up. Came back after lunch. First thing she did, demand a ride to the store. No car, no license. Guess I'm her Uber now. That night, she cooked while I checked the recorder again. Wally had landed. First person he called? Marcy. He believed every damn word she said, promised payback. Tony and Wally grew up together. He wasn't letting this slide. Gave her his address, said to call. She called Karen right after. Sounded giddy, like a schoolgirl. I stared at the recorder, stunned. I didn't even know who this woman was anymore. Guess I shouldn't be surprised. I did eliminated her boyfriend. Before bed, I grabbed some fast food. Lawn needed mowing again, so tomorrow I had an excuse to stay outside and avoid the drama. Around 11, her folks showed up to take the boys. Sleepover at Grandma Wilcox's. No one told me, but I didn't argue. School night. She said they'd be back in time. I was hungry. Skipped breakfast, so lunch came first. After a quick shower, I headed over to Dennis's place. Marcy never said a word about me not eating at home anymore. She and Wally were too busy plotting revenge. Honestly, it was almost funny. Their plan? After Marcy and I went to bed, Wally would sneak in through the back deck. She'd leave the door unlocked, make it look like a robbery. I'd get shot. If anyone heard the tool, Marcy and Karen would call emergency. Amateurs. Then I remembered I hadn't changed the life insurance. I kissed Marcy goodbye. Real sweet. She flipped me off. Classy. Had dinner at my folks' place and stayed most of the night. Before I left, I borrowed Dad's snake charmer. Short 20 gauge. Just right for what I had in mind. Back home, Marcy was in bed with the light on, fake reading. One new message. Karen, bragging about how Wally rocked her world all day. Said everything was set for tonight. Took me 20 minutes to swap the shells, dumped the buckshot, filled them with rock salt from last winter. I didn't want Wally dead, just stopped. Same with Tony. I didn't mean to eliminate him either. Maybe Wally's heart was stronger. I didn't check the back door, in case Wally was already watching. Had to trust it was unlocked like Marcy said. Stripped to my boxers, messed up the bed a bit. No coffee, so I grabbed a Coke, sat in my chair, phone by my side, and waited. He showed up a little after midnight. As soon as I saw him on the deck, I called emergency. Told them someone was breaking in, said I was scared for my life. Stayed on the line. Patio door slid open. Wally crept in. I let him get 2 steps in, then fired. First shot hit his leg, sent him flying back through the door. Second shot knocked him off the deck, broke the railing. He hit the ground screaming. Good. Rock salt burns like hell. The blast echoed through the house. My ears rang like hell. I turned on the light. Marcy came running in, screaming. Couldn't even hear her. I walked to the door. Saw a silenced .22 on the floor next to Wally. Marcy kept yelling. I raised the rifle toward her. She shut up and bolted. Wally was still groaning. Looked like his ankle was busted. Too bad, so sad. 10 minutes later, cops showed up. I set the tool on the floor. One officer grabbed my phone, told dispatch it was all good. Anyone else in the house? They asked. Yeah, Marcy, she's in the bedroom. They brought her in. Big mistake. She went off like a siren, cussing, screaming, wild. I backed off and let them deal with it. Eventually, a big female cop took her gently by the hand and walked her outside. That's when I saw Karen out there with the neighbors. I smiled and dragged a finger across my throat. She turned pale and backed off. Mood improved instantly. The ambulance showed up with Detective Green right behind it. He gave me a smile. I smiled back. Not smug, just satisfied. That tall cop brought Marcy back inside so she could change. She'd calmed down some. After I got dressed, we all headed to the station. I made sure we rode in separate cars. Green let me ride with him. We didn't talk on the way, but he kept giving me that same look, like he knew. It was almost morning when they let me go. We only talked for half an hour, but they kept me there all night. Like I was at some kind of boot camp, coffee every 5 minutes. Cops dropped me off, no crime tape, no mess. Looked normal. Wally must have taken the hit like a champ, just a busted rail to fix. I collapsed in bed and slept past noon. When I finally got up and stumbled into the kitchen, there was Detective Green, sipping coffee, reading the paper like he lived there. I didn't want more coffee, so I poured OJ and sat across from him. No clue how you got in, I said. You're a tough guy, Mr. Mercer, he said, eyes still on the paper. I wasn't sure if he was messing with me or testing me. He finished his coffee and stood up. Detective Green, I need a shower, shave, and real food, unless that breaks some cop rule. Take your time, Danny. I'm not going anywhere. Walking to the bathroom, I wondered if the guy ever slept. Lunch was 2 huge pork sandwiches. Green joined me, even had a beer. We barely spoke. The quiet got heavy. You're dying to ask me something, huh? He said. Funny, I thought the same about you. He waved the waitress over. 2 more beers. I've been asking all night, he said. Now it's your turn. All right, first, where's Marcy? We're holding her. Arraignment's later today. She got a lawyer? Her folks hired one. That caught me off guard. I had more questions, but didn't want to push too hard. Well, good for them. I won't be helping. I shrugged. No more questions, but if you've got something to say, now's your shot. He chuckled and took a slow sip of beer. One more thing, he said. Did you happen to record any talks between your wife and Mr. Williams? You mean Wally? I smirked. If I did have a tape, would you need it? Maybe. Might not matter. But if their lawyers start swinging, it could help. Wouldn't that get me into trouble? Yeah, but it'd make my job easier. I'll manage without it, if it exists. I nodded. Fair enough. Danny, he said, stretching, I should take you home. Boys will be off the bus soon. We pulled up just as the school bus rolled in. I introduced the boys to Green. Of course, they asked for his badge. All was good until he leaned down and said, Who built the tugboat and who built the monster truck? I built the truck, Todd said, all proud. I did the tug, Terry added. Want to see? Maybe next time, Green smiled. I'd like that, but I gotta run. He turned and left, still wearing that smug grin. Fool knew about the pink paint. He had me. I couldn't say a word. That night we ordered pizza. The boys didn't ask about their mom. After dinner, her dad called, wanted help with bail money. I turned him down, politely. Not sure if he got it, but he tried. I asked where she'd stay. He paused. With us! So me and the boys loaded her stuff into the truck and dropped it off at her parents'. No drama, no talk. Back home, I saw a U-Haul at Corinne's. By morning, she was gone. No call, no note. I read the paper to get updates. No one told me anything. Felt like I'd been erased. No trial. Marcy blamed Wally. Wally blamed her. They both pled out. She got 3 to 5 for conspiracy. He got 5 to 10 for attempted homicide. Feds stepped in over the silencer, but held off till he served time. Green never brought up the tape again. Karen disappeared for good. Dad was glad to get the rifle back, said I could borrow it any time. He laughed when he said it. I served Marcy the divorce papers as soon as she started her sentence. She didn't fight it. We hadn't spoken since the night Wally got lit up. I sold the house, moved in with my folks, couldn't handle the boys alone. Work took me back. They offered day shifts, but I said no. Once a month, I drove the boys to Muncie Women's Prison. I stayed in the car. They were usually out in under an hour. Sometimes they'd sit outside. I watched through the fence. I never asked about those visits. Told them not to tell me anything. That was easier for everyone. Then the call came. Hello? Daniel Mercer? Yeah. This is Angela Hawkins. Detective Green told me to call. We need to talk. What's this about? Tony DeMarco was my brother. Crap. Just when I thought I was clear. I don't think this is a good idea, I said. I'm sorry for your loss, but I can't help. I hung up before she could say more. 2 days later, she called again. Daniel, please, I just want to say something. Detective Green said you're fair. Where? A dealership would be best, but wherever's easy for you. I paused. Meet me Saturday, 10 a.m., Exhibition Hall. I'll have my boys with me. They like old cars. I didn't know what she wanted, but meeting in public, with the boys, felt safer. I wasn't using them as shields, just insurance. If she really was Tony's sister, she was probably Italian. And if she was Italian, that meant hot blood. And if she had hot blood, I needed to be careful. At that point, I realized I was way overthinking it. I needed a beer. I called Green. What's going on with this woman? I asked. Relax, he said, chuckling. Just meet her. Stop freaking out. Easy for him to say. He didn't eliminate her brother. The Continental Classic was huge, way more than I expected. Besides the big showroom, there were 2 massive buildings full of cars, some shiny, some waiting for their turn. We pulled in and bam! Grand opening banners, music, free food, clowns. I didn't expect a damn party. Terry and Todd lit up. Couldn't decide between staring at muscle cars or chasing down popcorn. Some clown with a red nose was scooping hot kernels into little bags. There was soda, hot dogs, the works. Then I saw her, no doubt in my mind, Angela Hawkins. She walked right toward me, slow and steady. Short, dark hair, olive skin, hips that didn't lie, pure Italian. Couldn't have been more than 5 feet tall. Next to what I remembered of her brother Tony, it was a wild contrast. Walking beside her was a little girl, about 10, same eyes, same face, lighter hair, probably her daughter. I could tell we were both using our kids for backup. She reached out a hand. Daniel Mercer, I presume? She said. I shook her hand. Always wanted to say that, I replied with a half smile. Like in that old Dr. Livingston movie. She smiled, tight, polite. This is my daughter, Carla. Todd gave her a little nod. Todd, he said. Terry grinned and shook Carla's hand. I'm Terry. Nice to meet you. Angela looked at Carla. Why don't you show the boys around while I talk to their dad? Terry took off with Carla into the showroom. Todd made a beeline for the hot dogs. I figured they'd be fine. Angela turned back to me. We can talk here or upstairs in my office. Office sounds good, I said. As we headed up the stairs, I noticed a few staff staring. Angela saw it too and smirked like, yeah, welcome to my world. Sales guys in matching bowling shirts were everywhere. One across the room gave me a thumbs up. I gave a nervous smile back. Did Green tell you anything? She asked. Nope, I said. Tony was my brother, my only family. He died without a will, so I inherited the business. Lawyer took a bite, but I ended up okay. Well, I said. Glad somebody got something out of this mess. I noticed the ring on her finger, small silver cross on her chest. I tried focusing on the cross, but my eyes wandered south. Too long without Zex. She caught me looking. Mr. Mercer, she asked, smirking. What exactly are you looking at? Your crucifix, I said, deadpan. She laughed, swatted my hand. Want a beer? Best thing I've heard all day. She bent over to grab drinks from a mini fridge. Gave me a view I wasn't ready for. If she was trying to distract me, it was working. She handed me a can. We both took a sip. Angela, I said, I'm still not sure why I'm here. I should probably get back to the boys. You can call me Angela. Mind if I call you Danny? Go ahead. Are we done here? I asked. No, sit down and don't move. Green said you get it. I shut up. Maybe it'd go faster that way. Tony was a fool, she said flat. A mean son of a witch. He deserved what he got. As messed up as it sounds, I wanted to thank you. My stomach flipped. Was this a setup? Was Green in on it? My eyes dropped to her chest again, looking for a mic. Are you recording me? I asked. Really? She said. No, why the hell would I do that? I drained the can. Still didn't trust it. Maybe I should check on the boys. Sit down, she said, firmer now. She eased up a little. There wasn't much love between me and Tony, she said. My husband died in a crash 3 years ago. No life insurance. The guy who shot him didn't have any either. I had no job, no real skills, and a baby girl to raise. I asked Tony for help. He paid part of the funeral, then ghosted me. So his passing helped you out? I asked. Yes, and it helped you too, she said. Maybe we should both just be grateful and let it go. She finished her beer, gave me a half smile. You don't want to talk about this anymore, do you? She asked. I stood up. No, I really don't. Wait, she said. I need your help. You're the only one who can. What do you want? I want you to come work here, she said. Be my general manager. I stared at her like she'd grown a second head. You're out of your mind. I don't know a damn thing about selling cars, especially not fancy ones like these. I know, she said. I've got people for that part. Then why me? She looked down at her shoes, then around the room like she was searching for the right words. Finally, she looked at me. Did you notice how my people looked at you when we came up here? She asked. Yeah, like they wanted me dead. They think you eliminated Tony. And not just that, you embarrassed him. They were scared of him. Now they're scared of you. That fear, that's power. I don't have it. I can't control them. But you, they won't cross you. So you want me to stand around and be scary? I said. I want you here. Be seen. Be calm. Let them feel that edge. We'll learn the rest together. I just need someone they won't push. I shook my head. Angela, I'm not that guy. I was the doormat. That's why Tony and Marcy walked all over me. She leaned back in her chair and grinned. Well, didn't end too well for either of them, did it? That made me laugh. Too loud, maybe, but I didn't care. We spent half an hour going over the deal. Pay was better than the factory, and the benefits were solid. If it doesn't work out, I can always go back, I said. But deep down, I knew I wouldn't. I wanted forward, not back. Downstairs, Todd looked pale. Too many hot dogs, too much soda. Terry, on the other hand, was beaming. He and Carla were chatting more than looking at the cars. Good sign. Todd threw up in the truck on the way home. Skipped dinner. Monday, I started the job. Just like Angela said, things moved fast. I picked it up quicker than I expected. A few people warmed up to me, especially the guy in the blue shirt. Turned out he was Glenn's cousin. Became my biggest supporter. Most of the crew just wanted to do their jobs and not get hassled. Angela got me into shooting. Turned out, I liked it. Lived up to the rep they'd built for me without even trying. Detective Green came by for coffee sometimes. Chill visits. But one day he opened up. 3 years ago, he said, I was a cop in Philly. Came home one day and found my wife in bed with my boss. Knocked the hell out of him, tossed her out. Department gave me a choice. Resign or get canned. I left. Before I did, I made sure the fool lost his job too. I didn't push for more. I finally got why he'd been so easy on me. The boys knew not to tell Marcy about the job. On visit days, they made jokes about the long drive but didn't complain. I figured it was good for them to see her. Maybe not for her, but it gave me some dark satisfaction. Angela and I started spending more time together. Work, weekends, even a trip to Noble Grove with the kids. Still, things stayed careful. I lived with my folks and the boys. Angela and Carlo were squeezed into a one-room apartment. It worked, but it wasn't ideal. She started house hunting. Every evening, she was scrolling listings. One day, she looked up from her screen. "Danny, I think it's important the boys each have their own room," she said. "Better to plan that now than deal with problems later, don't you think?" "Of course," I said. I knew what this was. She smiled a little. "The split bedroom layout would be good too," I added. "Don't love the master being too close to the kids' rooms." She didn't say anything, just smiled, faint but real. It was a weird thing we had. No sex, no kissing. But I felt closer to her than I ever did to Marcy in 12 years. 2 days after my divorce came through, we all went to Red Lobster. The boys didn't know why, but Angela did. That night, while they watched TV, she pulled me into the kitchen. She stood on her toes and kissed me. We were laughing and tangled up when Carla walked in. "Oops, sorry, Mom," she said, then grinned. "That time has come." Back in the living room, she whispered something to Terry, and they both smiled. Angela and I kept it PG that night, but I was definitely ready for whatever came next. Next day, while the kids were at school, Angela and I had a long lunch, the kind that ends with tangled sheets. We barely made it back to work before closing. After that, lunch became our favorite time of day. Angela got more serious about buying a house. Green kept dropping by, sometimes just to talk, sometimes hanging by the cars. He fell hard for a Studebaker hawk that used to belong to Roger Ebert. Angela gave him a solid deal. Then one day, Angela looked at me and said, "Danny, I need you to drive me to see Marcy." That stopped me cold. We hadn't visited much lately. Marcy never complained. "Why?" I asked. "Need to wrap something up." "Like what?" "Just stuff. Close things out." "You want me to go in with you?" "No, just drive. I'll handle the rest." It was a warm fall day when we got to Muncie. Since visits were outside, I parked close to the fence. 10 minutes later, I watched Angela and Marcy sit at a picnic table. At first, they looked like two old friends catching up. Then Marcy's smile dropped. She stood up, leaning over the table, scowling. Angela didn't move. Then Marcy snapped and lunged at her. Guards ran in, grabbed her, dragged her back inside, screaming like a maniac. Angela strolled back to the car like nothing happened. She opened the door, got in, buckled up. I stared at her. "What the hell just happened?" She smirked. "Your ex is real touchy." We drove in silence for a few minutes. Then she looked over and said, "I said hi, introduced myself." She was all smiles. Thought I was on her side. I didn't correct her. "What did you tell her?" I asked. "Told her I came from Baltimore, said I wanted revenge." "On me?" That's what she assumed. "And what did you really mean?" "Tony, taking over his business was the plan." "You can get revenge on a dead guy?" "Sure," she shrugged. She started asking for details. When, how, all that. She thought I meant you. That's when it got fun. "Fun?" I said. She asked for updates, said she wanted every detail. "And then," Angela grinned, "I told her I planned to eliminate you." I blinked. "That's it?" "By Zax," she added, laughing. "I said I'd screw you to passing." I shook my head. "That's what set her off?" "Guess she didn't like the mental picture." We both burst out laughing. "So," I said, still chuckling, "when exactly do you plan to launch this attack?" "Soon as we hit the next motel, genius." 2 months later, we were married. Backyard wedding at the new house. Simple, close-knit. Angela mailed Marcy an invite. Inside was a little note. "Everything's going to plan. He should be dead in 40, 50 years."